Hey, Colby and Kau'i here from KCMG Real Estate Advisors in Downingtown Life. And today we are with Janet Bernstein, the founder and owner of the Organizing Professionals.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for taking the time. So, Janet, tell us high level, what does your company do?
We specialize in 3 areas. Residential home organizing. We can come in, help our clients declutter their homes, get them organized, set up for success. That's one part. The other part we do is move management. So it's soup to nuts. We can come in, declutter the home before it goes on the market for sale, then help the realtors if they wanted to do staging for photographs, we can do that as well. And then once the home is sold, we'll come in, pack the entire home, and then if it's a local move, unpack and completely set up. And then the other part is senior move management. So all of our organizers are trained to work with the senior community, downsizing their homes and then moving into retirement communities.
I feel less stressed just knowing that someone does that. I mean, really. Exactly. So you are in the area in servicing like Chester County, Montgomery, Delaware County, Philadelphia, or how you get around? Okay. I understand you've lived a lot of different places as well. Tell me a little bit about all the places that you've lived and how do you think that experience has helped you in your business?
Yeah, that's a good question. I grew up in England. I lived there until I was about 21. Then I moved to the States to get married. Lived here for 5 years. And then with my ex-husband, we lived in Moscow for 4 years. And then from Moscow, we went to Kazakhstan for 5 years. And then came back and lived in New York City for about 3 years before moving to Philadelphia area in 2007.
Wow. So you've moved and packed yourself a lot.
Exactly, right. Which is why this became a good fit for business, because I understood that for a lot of people, it's extremely stressful. Moving is stressful.
Especially internationally.
Yeah, internationally, locally. I mean, for a lot of people, it's stressful. I enjoy the whole process. I like getting organized. I like decluttering, downsizing, but I realize that I am an anomaly. Most people do not enjoy the process. It's extremely stressful. So once I went into business as a professional organizer, I understood, move management. Now that's something that people really need help with.
So that experience of doing it yourself spawned the idea for a business in 2007. So was there anything else in that process that made you realize, like, did you come across other people that you knew had a need and you said, wow, I recognize
there's got to be the
I'm
first client, right?
What was that turning point that you said, I'm good at doing this, maybe I can turn that into a business?
So many things. So I started the business in New York City. I knew I was organized, and it was in 2004, 2005 at the time, and professional organizing as a profession was not a known idea. But I think I had a friend who's telling me a little bit about it. My kids were in a school where each of the parents had to volunteer 3 hours of their time each week. And the school secretary asked me to organize the school attic, which was a disaster. I mean, the teachers were throwing all the supplies up there. It was a mess. So every 3 hours each week, I would go up there and make it look like a thing of beauty. It was just wonderful. Do say so myself. So
they're like, Janet's an angel.
So I figured there might be something here. It's like a business idea. I put myself on the school silent auction, and the winning bidder was a Park Avenue socialite, and she was my first client, which was wonderful, and in so many ways, because she was a delight to work with. Her home was wonderful, and she was well networked, so she passed my name along to other clients. And then she moved from one lovely Park Avenue apartment to another, and I helped her with that as well. And so the whole thing was, I realized 2 things. At that point, I realized I love helping people, and I like running a business. That came later as the team got bigger.
So you start with one client and then word gets around, right?
Yes.
So, my friend needs help. Maybe could I pass your number on to them? And that's kind of probably how it started, I imagine.
That's exactly how it started.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a website at the time. When we lived in New York, it was one client after another. And I realized,
this is a thing.
This is fun. I was working my own hours. I loved the flexibility. I had young kids at the time. And went from there.
Yeah. So you've got, now what does your team look like?
We're 15 right now. We have let's see, 10 organizers, 2 in the office doing admin, answering the phone calls, doing the scheduling. They're absolutely, absolutely wonderful. We have 1 photo organizer. So all she does is digitize photos, which is a massive need. Videos, photos. Remember, for most people, they have them in shoe boxes in the attic, and they've never done anything with them. So we can take all of those and digitize them, get them all up in the cloud.
I didn't know that.
As I always say, you only have to do that once. People put it off forever until there's a crisis, and then,
Right. Or a move that happens, and you're like, do I take it? Do I keep it? Do I scan it? And then they get distracted, with different tasks.
Exactly.
So in scaling up your business, what was some of the biggest challenges? I know with growth comes pain sometimes.
Yeah. Well, with so Bridget, who you met earlier today, she was one of our first employees, and she started off as a professional organizer. And this was 10 years ago now, so her kids were little. And because she lives in the Chester Springs area, a lot of our clients were either downtown or further down on the main line. She called me up and she said, I can no longer work with clients. It's too difficult. And at that point, I was realizing I'm wearing all the hats. I'm answering the phone calls. I'm doing the consultations. I'm doing the scheduling. It was too much. So I said to Bridget, what if you stay home and you answer the phones and you do the scheduling and all of the admin stuff? And that's when we started to see real traction.
That's amazing.
It was really great.
So in the process of making a move, what are some mistakes that you see people commonly making when getting their home ready to put on the market and to make a move?
The number one mistake is waiting till it's too late. So you go into a potential client's home and they want to put it on the market, and you go in and they've lived there, let's just say 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And inside you're thinking, why didn't they start the process of decluttering sooner? Because for you want their best interest, which is to get that house on the market as soon as possible. But you will also know that no one is going to come in with all of this clutter and go, absolutely, I'm going to give you top price. So that's what we see all the time. If you're going to think of selling your home in a year, 2 years, then start a little bit at a time. And so we recommend pace yourself. Don't look at the entire home, because if you look in the entire home, you're going to be overwhelmed and then you just paralyze. So you just procrastinate and you don't do anything. But if you say, okay, every Sunday morning, let's say, for 2 hours, I'm going to tackle the mudroom. And then after that, I'm going to get some motivation. And then I'm going to go on to the laundry room. And I'm going to keep taking the things out and removing the things that I love, need, and use. That's our criteria. And get ruthless with yourself as well. Because the less you have in your home, the better chances you're going to get. You're going to get a better price for your home. And when the time has come to move, less to pack.
Yeah, that's parallels in our industry. We tell our clients all the time, it's never too early to have us over and have a conversation. If you're going to move in 3 years, let's talk now.
Yes.
Let's make a plan, because the more time you give us, the better prepared we can get you, and with a lot less pain.
Definitely.
And it's a lot less stressful. It's very stressful to make decisions under pressure. So then you condense the timeline, and now you're really stressed. And now you're trying to make a big decision under pressure. And same thing with selling, it's like if you just take it in bite-sized pieces and make a plan. So I know that where we were introduced to you is because we had a need with clients who were doing exactly what you do, So it could be a small house, it could be a big house, doesn't really matter. It's the point is we need to get you from point A to point B, what needs to happen in between. So as real estate agents, we can see where the client needs help and we engage your services. And what I love about working with you guys is that we can take our hands off the wheel. I can say, all right, here's kind of the scope, and, Janet's team is going to come in here and give you a plan. Do you guys do staging in that process too, or is that?
We do. We'll stage with the client's existing furniture.
Okay, great.
Half of our staff are really good at going, if you just move the sofa this way, the room looks bigger. That's easy. So absolutely, we can do that. And again, we can remove the personal photo frames, because I know that that's something that you always recommend. Take the person out of the home so that the next person can imagine themselves living there.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We'll do all of that.
It's a big important part of our relationship when you come in and manage the move process and preparing the home for that. But your business is not just solely focused on doing that, correct? You also just do general organization in homes, and also in helping seniors move from the home into a smaller environment. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we started off as a residential home organizing company, so that's still part of what we do. It's about 40% of what we do today. So even if a client is not moving, or if you have an older client that wants to age in place, as we call it, then we can help them make sure that their home is clutter-free so they can move around and everything is more accessible. So that's something else that we do. But if someone is staying in their home and is just tired of the clutter or the organizational systems are not working, then clients will have us come in and say, help.
Yeah. Do you have a wild or challenging story you can share with us about a move you've ever coordinated?
I think I personally love the really, really big moves. And one of my favorites was last summer. And we had clients who were moving from Princeton to Ambler. And it was one 13,000 square foot house to another one. So to me, that was wonderful. And they were wonderful clients. They wanted to be entirely hands-off, which meant that they left on a Monday. They rented an Airbnb and they let us handle the entire process. How much fun. And they had 5 kids. So we would go in there. So we brought all of the boxes, everything that we needed. So the entire team, I think we were 10 people. That was probably the most we'd ever had on one job on one day. And the entire team packed them up. I think that took us 3 days. And then we supervised the movers. So make sure that everything was wrapped properly, was located and detailed where it was going to go in the new house. So we supervised them on the pack side and then went over to the Ambler side and watched them unpack, supervised the move on that side, unpacked everything, organized everything. So when the client returned, there wasn't a moving box in sight. Everything was
fantastic.
Isn't that the dream?
Right into their home.
Could you imagine? Who does not want that?
Yeah,
so
fantastic.
to do that for a client just is absolutely so special.
That's a good story. That's a big house. And
So we talked about mistakes, and obviously from that comes. I hear you saying the best advice you can give is time. Give yourself more time.
Pace yourself, plan.
Right.
Another thing that I'll hear all the time, especially with empty nesters, they will say, my kids left home and now they're living in a shoebox in Manhattan and I've got all their stuff. All the time we hear this. If you are in that situation where you want to move, but your kids have left all their stuff, you can also schedule a FaceTime. 15 minutes on a Thursday night. Hey, got 15 minutes on Thursday night? What about these few items here?
Okay.
Let's go through them that way. So they don't even have to be present. 15 minutes. Everyone has 15 minutes, right?
Sure.
You might be pushing it with 30 minutes with some of these adult kids. 15 minutes. Got 15 minutes? Absolutely. And then you just say, what are you doing next Thursday night at 6 o'clock? Another 15 minutes.
That's a great idea. Or I could do like my parents did and just sold all my stuff at a garage sale. I came home looking for it,
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
She doesn't even deny it anymore. She's like, yeah, I did that. Now that's great. That's a great piece of advice. So you guys also provide the boxes and the packing. So so they literally it's hands off if they want, client wants it to be.
Absolutely.
So what trends are you seeing in professional organizing and making large moves right now? And maybe that was different from 10 years ago.
10 years ago, well, first of all, I think we were still making a name for ourselves. 10 years ago as professional organizers, now I think people know what we do. I think it used to be people were embarrassed to call a professional organizer. They would think, oh, I don't want to see like a van outside my house. It looks like I'm a hoarder. I've got issues. We don't see that anymore.
Okay.
It's basically I'm leading an extremely busy life and this is what I'm good at, and let me bring in a professional who can really help me and expedite the process of home organizing.
Yeah.
So that's been extremely helpful. And I don't think it's necessarily a luxury service anymore.
Right.
And I think that's wonderful.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's really great. I know that we're very pleased with our experience with your company.
Thank you.
It's really valued our partnership.
Yeah, it's good to know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, it's been a pleasure getting to know you a bit more
Likewise.
and knowing more about the professional organizers. So whether you're making a move or you just want to get a little more organization in your life, definitely reach out to Janet's team. So again, Colby and Kau'i here from KCMG Real Estate Advisors and Downingtown Life. Please keep supporting our local community.